When you're troubleshooting your smart arm, there's a few different places that you can get power interruption. You should always have power going to your touchpad because it will have a main source of power coming directly either from your battery or your distribution panel. If you feel confident enough to remove access panels, find the wiring going to your smart arm. You can check for voltage coming to your smart arm and going out of your smart arm to your LED light. You'll want to have a multimeter and set that to direct current, which is the V with the dotted line and then the solid line. And we're always looking for that 12 to 13 volts direct current. Here with this thicker red wire and thicker black wire, this is your main power source going to your touch panel. These will always have connections, and if they don't, your awning will not function. To check that, you place your probes, red to the power, and then black to common or ground. Here you can see that we have that 13 volts direct current going to our touchpad. So that means your touchpad has power. It should light up, unlock, and function your awning as normal. Following the electric current through your system, you can check whether a harness is good or not by checking if your controller is receiving power and if it's putting off power to specific components. You can check your controller is receiving power by taking off this holding clip, removing this wire cover, and then removing this cover as well. And here you can see the wire harness connected at that 12-pin connector to your touchpad. You remove your touchpad by pushing it to the side and pulling it out. You can see where it's connected to the IR sensor and it's connected to that 12-pin harness. To disconnect the harness, you press this tab at the top and pull it off. Once you have your touchpad controller removed, you can check the bottom of this harness with your multimeter. Make sure that it's set to the direct current voltage, which is the solid line, the dotted line, and the V. When you're looking for a specific pin on your wire harness, you will be able to see faint numbering at the top of this connection. Here you can see 1 very lightly and 7 also very lightly. So that means we have 1 through 6 across the top and then 7 through 12 across the bottom. If we turn this around, we'll count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We will put our power probe into 2 and our ground or common into 6. And we get that 13 volts of power coming through this harness, showing us that our harness is good, and if we're having problems with our controller, we may need to replace the controller. When you're following the current through your wiring harness, after checking that touchpad is receiving power, you'll check to make sure that the touchpad is sending the power to your motor at the drive head assembly. To check that, you come up to this wire connection. Here we have the harness coming from the touchpad to the motor. This connection is where you would take it apart, use your probes from the multimeter, put the red lead on the red side, and then the common lead on the black side, and you would check for that 12.6 direct current voltage at this connection. To do that, you would have to hold your multimeter here and then have somebody else press the extend or retract switch either at the interior of your unit or at the touchpad. If you are getting that current, but your motor is not functioning properly, that shows you that the touchpad is sending the signals through the wire harness and that the wire harness and touchpad are in good condition, but your motor may need to be replaced.